I can't believe it. I was beginning to wonder if this day would ever come. And truthfully, we might not be doing it even yet if the weather wasn't forcing our hand. But Sunday, October 25th, the church called Grace Community is re-entering the building. Notice I did not say the people are moving back into the church, because the people are the church, right? We're just finally moving from gathering on the lawn to gathering in our building for Sunday services. And unfortunately, it's a little bit complicated. So let me try to explain some of our logistics. First, I might as well just say this. If COVID has taught us anything, it's that there is no shortage of opposing opinions and perspectives about basically every aspect of this. And so we're pretty well giving up on the idea of pleasing everyone. We're just trying to do the best we can do, and pray that people will be kind and patient and forgiving, which is supposed to be characteristic of the people called the church anyway, I think. So here's the plan. Our services will be at 9 and 10:45 like they were BC, before COVID. But instead of each service being 75 minutes-ish, we're going to try really hard to hold them to just 60 minutes so that we have plenty of time to empty the building and clean everything between the services. We have set up our adult worship space with about 150 chairs distanced in various size groupings, and I'm sure we will not be able to fill every chair because that's just the way it goes. And we can probably add a few more chairs if we need to, but here's something that would really help us, especially in our children's ministry space. If a few families with children that used to come to the 10:45 service would get up a little bit earlier and come to the 9 o'clock service, that would really help with potential space issues, especially in the 10:45 service. I mentioned cleaning between services. We have been given access to a commercial fogging machine that sanitizes, and so we're planning to use it in all the rooms between services. We'll also plan to clean the restrooms and wipe down some of the commonly used hard surfaces. By the way, if you're interested in serving on the cleaning team, we're interested in talking to you. We're going to need some extra help with that. I also mentioned children a moment ago. We are going to attempt to do our children's ministry program on Sunday mornings. Elementary age kids will gather in their own worship space. Unless mom and dad would rather hold on to them, then that's fine as well. Preschoolers, 3 through pre-K, will gather upstairs. We're going to encourage parents to hold on to infants who do not yet walk, but once they're walking or wobbling or whatever you want to say, then they're welcome in our nursery, which, by the way, means we need nursery volunteers again. Now, let me guess what you're thinking. How are you going to keep these kids distance in all these various classrooms? Well, there are no guarantees. Thankfully, kids have not been at too high a risk through all this, and for that we are very, very, very thankful. And frankly, especially with the really little ones, we probably won't work too hard at maintaining social distance. So it's just going to be up to the parents whether or not they want to allow their kids to be in the classes. It's a little easier with elementary age kiddos. They've been practicing at school, and so we'll try a little bit harder with them and probably have a little more success with that age group. I will tell you this. Pastor Margaret and her team have been working really hard on preparing as safe and welcoming an environment as they can. And they've already started trying to communicate the plan via email, etc. By the way, if you're not on our church email list, please call our church office and get yourself on it. Also, I think there will be a specifically children's ministry informational video coming soon, and so be watching for that. But remember, There is no way to make guarantees or to please everyone. So lots of patience, lots of forgiveness as we do our best, right? One last thing about kids, we're still working on exactly what our capacity will be for each of our children's ministry spaces. And so there's a chance that we'll have to cap the number of kids allowed into each space. And if we reach capacity in any certain classroom, we might have to ask a few kids to sit with their parents that day. Let's talk about traffic flow for a minute. We're going to invite families with younger children, younger than teenage children, to park in our north lot, the one that's straight back to the side of the building as you drive in, and use that side entrance, the Grace Community Kids entrance, to enter and exit the building as much as possible. We'll ask everyone else, families that don't have that age kids, to enter through the main entrance under the portico, and or we're also pouring a new sidewalk to access the doors into the gym on the southern end of the front of the building, which is the east side of the building. Our restrooms will be available, although we're going to encourage people to use them as sparingly as possible and try to limit the number of people to like 2 at a time in the restroom. A few things we won't do. We won't be serving coffee or donuts. So if you're a coffee drinker, please bring your own, at least for now. We won't be passing out bulletins or passing the offering baskets, although we will have receptacles for offering available for those who have not yet switched over to giving electronically. We probably won't have a functioning water fountain, although if you're, like really dying of thirst, we do have a kitchen or whatever. However, let me remind you, the more you drink, the more you're going to need the restroom. So there's that. Last thing, for now at least, the dreaded mask question. Who would have ever thought that the most divisive thing in our culture in the year 2020 would be the wearing of face masks? Here's the deal. We all hate them, but we're going to ask everyone to please comply. As long as there's a mask order, we're going to strongly encourage our folks to wear them, at least when you're moving about the building and when you're standing up singing. If you're just sitting quietly in the service, then maybe you could remove them. So we're basically just going to ask everyone to wear a mask. If you're going to be super non-compliant, then we will probably not forcibly remove you or ask you to leave or whatever. But I guess we'll just try to assume that you have a valid medical reason for not wearing a mask. But we'd really appreciate it greatly if you'd be cooperative at this point and just wear the stupid mask, unless you're 5 years old or under or whatever. I know half of you love me right now and the other half of you hate me, but so be it. And of course, it goes without saying, if you're sick, please stay home and worship with us online. Well, that's a class they never taught me in seminary. I never took World Pandemic 101. And so we probably will not get all this exactly right. But that's okay. We'll learn and grow and figure it out. And in the meantime, we're going to be kind and patient and forgiving toward one another, right? Thank you so very much. See you on Sunday, the 25th. Love you all.